Can you hear us?
Yeah, now I can hear you.
Orozco?
Orlando.
Good morning. Me too, I think, yes. Good.
Okay, welcome back, everyone. And now, to close our week, we bring together diverse voices for a panel discussion on the future of AI in medical informatics. Joining us are Professor Dr. Thomas Deserno, a global leader in medical imaging and informatics. Please, an applause.
Thank you.
Dr. Orlando Cerón from UNAM's Faculty of Medicine, expert in digital health and health policy. And Dr. Ronald Stewart Letter from UNAM's Faculty of Engineering, pioneer in biomedical engineering and early AI in medicine. This panel is a chance to reflect, debate, and envision what comes next for AI in healthcare. I'll invite each panelist to share brief opening remarks, and then we'll open the floor to your questions. Remember, the questions are being made through the spreadsheets form that has been sent through Classroom or the discussion in the Zoom meeting. The first question to begin our conversation is for Dr. Ronald Letter. How close are we to seeing AI integrated into wearable devices or prosthetics that can adapt to a patient's unique needs?
Toca a mí. Antes que, before I reply, I have to thank, since this is the last event of the summer school, is that it?
Yes.
Is that true? I have to thank the organizers for a tremendous job. Incredible. And it's going to be the gift that keeps on giving because it's all recorded and we can refer to it, right? And Dr. Cerón, do you have a relative, Daniel Cerón? No? Okay.
No.
Well, now I'm going to answer the question. I remember the question,
Okay.
and I'm going to answer the question that it's a trick question because we're right in the middle of it now, and we've been in the middle of it, I'd say, since 1995. And the medical device that probably I started telling you this before is the cardiac pacemaker. And not only the cardiac pacemaker, but the implantable cardiac defibrillator. And what does the AI do? It tries to identify shockable rhythms. Okay? And if you have one, you don't want to get shocked when you don't need it. Trust me. Okay? So I should probably say something provocative to provoke some kind of response out there from the audience. If somebody watching has a question, will you see it now?
Yes. Yes.
Already get a question from the audience?
No. The questions were already made through the Google Forms, and if there's doubts, they will be addressed at the end.
So let me go on record as saying that the cardiac pacemaker is a medical device that has had the best success at prolonging quality life, hands down. It's a billion-dollar industry, and it's got a big battery, so it's got computational power. Just the pacemaker is a lot smaller, but the implantable defibrillator is got a much bigger battery. You know why. Some people have it and they never get a shock. Soon, where that industry is going is that there will be energy harvesting from organs like the heart to create the electricity to power and store, to charge the battery. I mean, these days, you need your pacemakers replaced when the batteries are running down. Imagine if not only did they implant the device, but they also planted the transducer that converts the mechanical energy of the heart into charging the batteries, or walking, charging the batteries. Okay. Can you repeat the question?
Okay. How close are we to seeing AI integrated into wearable devices or prosthetics that can adapt to a patient's unique needs?
All aspects. You can't turn around without bumping into AI in the medical device industry. Smart cloth to actual electronic devices. And adaptability, that's AI's middle name. If you can sense it, I don't know if you saw my talk on Tuesday, but if you can think it, you can produce it. The sky's the limit. And if you don't believe me, go on the website of AliExpress and you'll see what you can buy. Okay?
Thank you for your answer, Doctor. We hope to see more advance in Mexico as in the whole world, right? The next question would be...
AliExpress ships to Mexico.
The next question would be for Dr. Thomas Deserno and Dr. Orlando, that says, what strategies do you recommend to avoid bias in diagnostic algorithms? Can we please begin with Dr. Deserno, please?
So the question is
What strategies do you recommend to avoid bias in diagnostic algorithms?
bias. Okay, didn't get that word. Yeah. So we talked about bias, if you have been listening to my talk, and the question is about avoiding those. Yeah. So that certainly is a good question. Yeah. The problem is that at least with the models we are using, the big LLMs, we do not know on the data they were trained. That is a particular issue. So the strategy in order to avoid biases is continuous monitoring of the results of such AI. Particular if data is drifting, then you need to detect that early. And an even more difficult problem is when we talk about learning AI. That means the model is not trained and fixed, but the model adapts with every use of new data. And then you, of course, need to be carefully monitoring the output of these models and the suggestion they make with the standardized data and continuously checking whether the algorithm still is doing what it's supposed to do.
Okay. And what is your opinion on the question? I can repeat it. What strategies do you recommend to avoid bias in diagnostic algorithms, especially in your experience, Dr. Orlando?
Hello, good morning, everyone. I think, well, it's a big issue, the bias in the algorithm. But, well, I think one of the strategies that I think works the most is to have a diversity of the data, a diversity of the population that we are collecting to feed the algorithms of AI. For example, there's evidence that in most of the countries, the data, for example, for dermatology AI, it's fitted with most of the people of Caucasic people or with Fitzpatrick's scale that goes toward the lighter skin. So what happened with the people with darker skin or with Fitzpatrick scales higher? We don't have enough data to make the comparison or to fit the algorithm. I think that's one important thing that we can do to avoid bias, to feed the algorithms with diversity of data. We should, of course, include people from the cities, but of course, there's a lot of people that are in the small towns, in the countryside, that they don't have access to health, and we also have to look at them and to feed the data with their information so the algorithms and the AI can work for everyone, not only for some people that participated on the trials or in the data collecting process.
Thank you so much for your answer. The next question would be for Dr. Ron and Dr. Orlando. Here they ask, given resource constraints, how can AI support efficient and fair healthcare delivery in Mexico and Latin America? Can we please begin with Dr. Ron?
Easy distribution of technical knowledge wherever you have a receiver. So the key to answering that question is to have a good communication network and actuators at remote sites that wouldn't ordinarily have access to humans who are so local.
Thank you for your answer. Yes?
It's a short, but it's a strong answer.
Yes, of course, and especially in your experience here in Mexico. And Dr. Orlando, what do you think? How can AI support efficient and fair healthcare delivery in Mexico, especially in Mexico and in the rest of Latin America?
In my experience, I think it's a very useful tool for making screening process. We don't have like the whole technology or the whole connectivity to bring AI to each countryside or to each city, but we can use it now as a tool for screening for some diseases. For example, blindness because of diabetes. We know it's a very important problem in Latin America. So I think it's the bridge to make closer this gap of the healthcare attention in all the country, of course in Mexico and of course in Latin America. So I think now it's a very useful tool for screening.
Okay, thank you so much. Yes?
I have something to add to my short answer.
Okay.
It's diagnostics, but in order to bring a complete continuous analysis blood test laboratory to remote places, all one requires is a compact disc and a disc player, and to power it. The way it's done is the spinning of the disc, the centrifugal force, forces fluid through pre-treated channels. So it's not the ordinary compact disc, it's a compact disc that's been preloaded with a complete 40 test clinical laboratory right on it, and the optical reader reads the colorimetric data from the reagents that are already implanted in the optical disc. Has anybody ever heard of this before here? No. So this works in the jungle.
Okay, and
It's a repurposing of a technology that's on its way out.
so that everyone can have an access to health, right?
To a blood test and screening diagnosis.
Thank you so much. The next question would be for Dr. Thomas. With your expertise, I know you've been working a few years in medical informatics, right? What ethical or governance issues should we worry about as AI grows in medicine?
Data security was mentioned in many talks here in this summer school. And well, from the computer science point of view, we will not have systems, computer systems, which are not hackable. So if there is discover a new gap, the gap is closed, and then the next gap is discovered, and so on and so forth. So I'm, in my personal opinion, we, all of us, should share our medical data, because that might be a key to revolutionize the healthcare at all. Maybe if I take some more words, now what we have, and I think I briefly addressed it also in my talk, what we have right now all over the world is a medical system that is reactive. So we wait until things happen and then apply diagnostics and treatment, which is expensive, and we are not looking to the early signs of several illnesses in order to identify them early and have them prevented by appropriate medical procedures before they happen. And if at least, if you look in the German health system, with the costs exploding, with the gap of health workers. I talked to several of you who are interested in going to Germany because we don't have enough healthcare professionals in all levels, physicians, nurses, and so on. Then we have the steadily increasing number of elderly people, which as compared to the younger, who pay for the system, and the elderly becomes even older and older. So 10 years ago, the life expectancy was shorter than it is now, and it is increasing. So we need to change something. And AI, I would say, is the key in order to have this process driven forward. It's not only the medical record from your hospital, it's not only the medical record from your treatment. It is this device is here. You ask who has the device. I have it for 10 days now. A ring that monitors, I don't know, whatever. calculates from that data. I don't know if it's working or not, but it says it could detect sleep apnea and things like that. So, yeah, whatever. And that is also interesting because in many talks, the lack of training data was addressed. And if we use data from these devices, of course, without ground truths, it's not that we are seeking for data, we are flooded with data, and AI is the only technology that is able to meaningful analyze all this data. And maybe not only with respect to what I'm collecting here, but with respect what all others are collecting, so interchange of these data and commonly, reading data and fusing data and so on. I think in that direction there will be a lot of progress in the next years. And now I think this answer was a long answer.
Don't worry, don't worry. You have a comment? Yes.
So I think we're close to the day when healthcare will become a public utility. Right now, physicians treat the public, and with AI, you can have it both ways. You can treat the public, the population, and you can treat the individual at the same time. And don't be fooled. Prevention is the key, and education is the key. But departments of preventive medicine, the trend was to change them to departments of public health. Okay? But AI allows you to have it both ways.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your comment. I think it was very complete. The next question would be for Dr. Orlando and Dr. Thomas. They ask, what advice would you give to Mexican students who want to pursue AI research in healthcare? Can we please begin with Dr. Orlando?
Hi, sure. First of all, I think, of course, attending to summer school, summer camps, or courses like this one is very important, right? But if you want to make some research, or if you want to work in the implementation of AI in healthcare in Mexico, I think that most of you are in a very good place to start. That is the UNAM, right? And I think most of the researchers of any institute would be very glad and happy to have students with us, to call the youth to work or to get into this world of AI. So I think, yeah, that's it. The first step is to show interest and go to speak with the researchers, with the scientists that are working with it. I think most of us would be glad to work with the students and to promote the generation of AI, the generation of knowledge here in the university and in most of the research centers around the world, I think.
Yes, I think initiatives like this are a great start if you want to pursue AI. Can we please?
Yes, and I would like to add, completely agree with you, but I would like to add what Friedrich, I think, nicely demonstrated in his talk. So we have in the audience technicians or scientists, computer scientists, and we have physicians. And it's great that the physicians are interested in AI, and it's great if the scientists are interested in medicine. So form teams. And I think UNAM is a perfect environment to do that. And then work together on AI in medical applications. And remember what Tim told you regarding the evaluation of these systems you are building. I think this is also very important to keep in mind that it's, well, the methodology of developing trustful AI, yeah, where the evaluation experiments really are valid, yeah, that is important. And if you form teams and work together, I'm pretty sure that in a place like this here, UNAM, you will get great new ideas and yeah, implement great new applications.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Yes.
Agree. I second everything that's been said, and there's no substitute for experience and critical thinking.
Definitely. The next question is for Dr. Orlando. From a medical perspective, how is the use of machine learning-based algorithm to support clinical decision-making accepted? Is it seen as a challenge, a threat, or an opportunity? Or it depends more on the ethics of the medical doctor?
Well, as a doctor, I think all technology, including AI, of course, or machine learning systems, are tools. We now, as physicians, we have the power to understand more data that we can even read. So that is the AI and that is the machine learning, what can do for us. So of course, they are tools that we can use to improve our attention to the patients or to the population because of course as someone says previously, not only the individual part it's looking, the AI also as a collective, as a public health point of view, it's really important that the manage of all this data with AI as a tool. So I think it's a very important tool and we should keep it like that as a tool. Because as we said in the biomedical informatics department at the Faculty of Medicine, if a machine or an algorithm can do the things better than you as a physician, you should take place, the AI should take place of the physician, right? So if we look at it as a tool, I think it has some very successful rate of adaptation, acceptation, and implementation of these kind of systems.
Thank you so much for your answer. The next question would be for Dr. Ron. They ask here, how can we make a career on AI if we came from biological sciences?
Could you repeat that? How?
Yes. How can we make a career on AI if we came from biological sciences?
Anybody can learn to program in Python. You don't have to be quantitative, but there's quantitative biology. What kind of quantitative science, what kind of biology were you talking about? Even a botanist can benefit and be motivated to become a quantitative scientist. But I want to pick up on the last question also and say that initially, any new technology faces resistance for adoption. But the natural path that I predict and that I've seen happening is that once the new technology, AI in this case, is seen as being able to do the heavy lifting and changes the role of the human from that of a laborer to a supervisor, cost goes down and quality and value go up. There has never been an information environment that we have now that promotes learning. Anybody can learn anything. And it's never been more accessible. I encourage everybody to test that theory and try to learn something in a week.
Can I comment on that?
Yes.
So, of course, anybody can learn Python. That's not the point. No? But I would slightly disagree in what Ron said. If you're from biology, you might find, well, I'll say it that way. We are talking about deep learning and all these generative AI, which basically is based on mimicking what the human brain is doing. And I'm not really skilled in biology. I have no idea on all these processes. Yeah, but if there's a biologist interested in AI, maybe he can vision or envision architectures for those networks, which are even more powerful at that what the scientists have built right now, based on their knowledge on the real brain. Yeah, that I think would be fine. And then such a biologist will find somebody able to speak Python and have that implemented.
Great. Thank you so much.
Have a counterpoint.
Okay.
'Cause I don't think it's a contradiction at all. I happen to be a card-carrying biologist. I have a cédule professionnelle in biology, molecular biology, molecular genetics. It's because I'm old. I've done a lot of things. The reason there are so many different educational techniques, consider learning languages, something that we have special hardware for, language learning in our brain. I think that's why it's not in our knee. I'm sure it's in our brain. Is because nobody really knows how to do it yet. But AI is going to allow us to do it. One comment that I love about technology, it was said about mathematics. It's the lie that helps you see the truth. And I think we're going to see the truth in learning very quickly. I can give you a reference. There's the most popular Coursera course ever in the history of Coursera. It's called Learning How to Learn. And it's not the last word in this, but the organization that is promoting it now is called Deep Learning, and they're backed by a neuroscientist, highly respected, Terry Sejnowski at Scripps Clinic. And I'm in front of attending my first Society for Neuroscience meeting. This is a meeting that draws about, I'm not kidding you, 30,000 people. It can only be in certain cities that have a conference center big enough. And it's so big that it has several satellite conferences before the actual meeting takes place. And the one that I'm going to is an IEEE meeting called Neural Engineering. And investigators are modeling in silicon actual brain processes. So you might see a tissue culture with a silicon appliance attached to it. That's today. Thank you. I rest my case.
Thank you so much for your answer. The next question would be for Dr. Orlando. It says, how can we apply all of these AI tools in public hospitals here in Mexico where there's no resources in terms of money and infrastructure? How can we address the gap of socioeconomic differences in order to help the most people?
Well, I think the first step in public health for applying the AI, we do use AI, but for manage data, the big data, and to make decisions in public healthcare, no, in public health. So we make decisions based on the evidence of the data that we collect from all the hospitals, from the health secretary, and for all places. So we do use data and AI and algorithms to look some different that can tell us that we can prevent some problems. So we do we do use it on this public health environment. But if we want to use it for each patient, I think every time is more accessible for all of us to have a kind of AI assistant in the phone. So I think it should be really soon that we can have access to specified systems. So any doctor, any healthcare provider can have access to AI with their phone. It doesn't matter if the hospitals don't have the infrastructure for use it. I think that's the future, to have our personal AI. And we as a physicians, we can wear it with the patient of the public institutions, but also in our private practice. So I think that's the future, the individualization of the use of AI.
Thank you so much. And I think it kind of leads to the next question that's for Dr. Thomas and Dr. Ron, that it says, do you believe investment in AI for healthcare is more urgent or important than that allocated to other applications? Why or why not? Can we please begin with Dr. Thomas, please?
Well, investment in AI for sure is good. I have already emphasized that we have a certain need in medicine to change the system. So, of course, there are other fields like climate change and so on, which are also important and may profit from AI. So I'm not the person who can say this is more important than the other. I'm not the person doing that decision. But what I know is that fostering the application of AI and the meaningful use of AI in medicine is really urgent.
What do you think about it, Dr. Ron?
AI goes with everything.
Yes, of course.
Like statistics.
The next question would be for Dr. Orlando and Dr. Thomas. It's a combined question. Which medical specialties have shown the greatest benefit from the implementation of AI? And what do you think will be the next major advancement in AI in the medical field in the next 5 to 10 years? I want you to give us your perspective in Germany. And Dr. Orlando, if you could share what's been going on with Mexico. Can we please begin with Dr. Thomas, please?
I shall start. Okay. Yeah, well, AI is already used, as we have learned, in digital pathology and digital radiology, and also in nuclear medicine for planning, treatment, and these things. Yeah, so that is due to the enormous power of AI when it comes to read information out of images. Yeah, and the reason for that is the convolutional neural network. I hope you understood what I tried to explain. There is a lot of clinical data in terms of these nodes, which has already been addressed in terms of reporting letters of physicians, in terms of diagnosis and so on. Yeah, and if we want to have, well, diagnostic or treatment decisions based on evidence, I think it's very helpful and powerful to look to what other individuals might be quite similar to that particular case, and learn from the past what has worked and what has not worked. And that means we need these language models and maybe also generative AI things to work on all the data that is collected in the healthcare system from all individuals which are there in all ages and in all stages.
Thank you so much. Dr. Orlando, what do you think? What's been going on with Mexico?
I agree totally with the doctor that now in Mexico, the AI that is more used is in the pattern recognition, because as he says, because the easily way to train the algorithms. So that's where in Mexico we use it more. For example, in radiology and dermatology, it's also very important to recognize the patterns of the moles, for example, to discern if it's a mole or a cancer. So that's our more of the specialities that are more nowadays that we use AI. Also, for example, in ophthalmology, there are a lot of systems that through an image of the eye, they can predict if you can have uh, damage in the kidneys, damage, of course, in the eye, damage in the heart. I think that's what we are working on and that we have. And as doctor says, the future is the personalized medicine. That the AI can help us to analyze all the variables that can change the output of the healthcare of the patients. Because it's very clear that AI can look more than we as humans can, because we can process all that kind of data. So I think that's the future. The analysis of all that variables or the characteristics of each person that should be considered for the treatment. So I think that's the future here in Mexico.
Thank you so much. There's an open question. Anyone can answer. Talking about the lack of data in the medical field, in some studies, there's only 30 patients to say something. Machine learning methods help us to deal with this problem. And would it be possible to implement resampling methods to deal with this situation? Yeah. Resampling methods. If there's too less of patients.
For
Is
example,
it-
if those diseases with low prevalence,
More that there's not enough patients to have enough data.
okay. So
So
I think that we should take care of the diseases first, or we can use it. We can use other kind of analysis with that kind of patients that of the rare diseases to help them. Of course, AI can help them with the treatment. With, for example, that kind of diseases are very linked with enzyme deficient diseases. So the AI can help to make the enzymes that they need to as a treatment. But I think to manage like big data, there's no big data with 30 patients. I don't know what you think, doctors.
I would say the key for that is standardization of how medical information is coded or stored. Yeah? So that is particularly where in the last 5 to 10 years in Germany, the government was really putting money in a system for having medical information more standardized. Yeah, so COVID was a good example. So they agreed on minimal data set for COVID patients. Yeah, what information is really relevant, how is it coded, and how you can code this information machine readable such that the meaning is maintained. The nice example with I don't know, heart rate. So my heart rate is 140. That is maybe a bit too high if I sit here in a chair. But if I'm doing sports, it might be normal. So if that happens, and if we have more efforts in that, then the world becomes large. Not only Germany, Europe, the entire world. And if the information, the medical information, is exchangeable, and we only have the 23 patients in Germany, we will have several thousand worldwide.
Dr. Ron, do you have a comment?
well, not enough patients. That was part of the question, right? But I think we're overlooking something. Who has not heard of a digital twin? A simulation. Okay, it's as old as Star Trek. So we have the capability to simulate patients.
And how close do you think are we?
It's only getting started.
How close do you think are we to AI being able to detect anomalies that even a specialist could miss?
Me? I'm happy to answer that. All the studies that compare specialists to AI show that AI can be as good as, if not better. The ground truth is in clinical decision making. I think it's called the ground truth, and the experts are compared to the systems.
There was one particular presentation here on detecting anomalies in data using AI. And the question is how you define anomaly. And that again comes to this personalized idea of medicine. And if we are looking to continuous tracking of health parameters, anomaly is not a certain event. Anomaly is if the regularity of such events over the time is changing. And I think this is a key issue. Anybody is different, and anybody has, for instance, extrasystoles and sometimes AF sequences and so on. So the one has more, the one has less. But if for personal profile, that is changing. That is an anomaly I think we need to detect early in order to take measures and prevent people from really big things like stroke or heart attacks.
Thank you so much for your answer. We have a question for the three of you. Do you think that the medicine career syllabus should be changed in order to the students get familiarized with these new tools since the first semesters? Yes, can we have your comment, Dr. Orlando?
Yeah, sure. Actually, in Mexico, they have, since second semester and third semester, they study biomedical informatics and digital health. And in that part of the formation, they know these tools. They know, for example, principles of interoperability to manage the data, codification of the diseases in order to have more information, and of course, to use and to understand the AI as a tool for the diagnosis or treatment of the patients. So yeah, I think it's totally necessary, and we're doing it in Mexico, in the UNAM, and in, well, I don't know if you know, the UNAM gives the paper for most of the universities of Mexico, well, for a lot of universities in Mexico. So we as a faculty of medicine, we can suggest, we can, suggest the implementation of these subjects since the first years. So we're doing it, and we think it's totally necessary.
Yes, I agree. It's totally necessary. I would say it's not. The university is not the right place to start with that. Yeah, it must go very early in school already. Yeah, the young kids today, they are in contact with this AI all the day and getting understanding of what these systems are doing, how they are working, and how one can profit from them. That needs to be in the curricula of school education, which actually is not in Germany yet.
Since this is our new reality, we have to begin early, right? We have a few questions about ethics, especially for you, Dr. Thomas. What would be an important step to be able to work ethically with AI and medical information, and what laws can be implemented to protect patient information from AI?
Predict what? Patient?
To protect patient information from AI. Yes.
Yeah, well, as I mentioned, the information must be available for these AI systems. And of course, we need to apply the systems we have in order to anonymize the data before it is processed. However, if it comes to genes and other data which is unique for each of the humans, then privacy cannot be cannot be hidden for the AI system. And then we need laws and regulations to make the use of these systems safe.
And what is your opinion in regarding Mexico, Dr. Ronald? Ronald?
Ronald.
Yes.
Remember, in a short while, everybody's going to be walking around with the smartest person in the world that ever lived in their pocket. The information industry is upside down. Mexico is not going to be immune to it. However, in the discussion that's developed so far, where are we on the map of computer literacy? Does one require computer literacy to operate AI? The answer is no. Everyone who can speak can operate AI. There's a voice interface. You don't have to know anything about what's behind the wall. Has anybody heard of the International Panel for the Information Environment? I think it's a group of 500 or 600 scientists right now. Dr. Cerón?
No, we haven't heard about it.
Okay, IPIE. I just learned about it last week. I was invited to a meeting by the Mexican membership chair. A lot can happen in 3 months. So hold on to your hats and your seat, because we're in for a wild ride. Everything is going to change, and it's. I'll give you an example. As soon as personal robots get down to the price of a mobile phone, there's going to be an explosion. Just like there was. Well, you may say I lived through the transition from no mobile phone to mobile phone. Didn't seem like an explosion to me. But all of a sudden, everyone had one. Now, the mobile phone industry is looking at the last 2 billion subscribers on the planet. The first 5 billion took a long time, maybe, but they're wondering how to carve it up, and it's going to happen in a flash. So I want to know, where did all these questions come from?
They
Who
come
do we
from,
have to thank for all these questions?
from the participants. They had a link where they could send their questions. And
From the participants.
yes, from here and online.
Days, one of the fears is it real or is it AI? And AI is real.
Yes, and most questions are actually ethical related. And for example,
I learned at the Information Environment meeting that in Mexico, there are 60 pieces of legislation right now concerned with ethical AI. Did you know that, Dr. Cerón?
Yeah, there's a lot of
Not
normativity.
only in medicine.
Yeah, generally. There are normativities, but here in Mexico, in some aspects, the ones that make the laws don't want to work a lot on it. So they because it can be like a barrier, for the research, for the investigation. So their point of view, because I already asked them, what are they doing towards that legislation? They say that the projects of laws, sometimes it's a barrier. So that's why they want to hold on to make it more advanced, to make some legislations. That's what they said about it.
And Dr. Orlando, since you see more AI as a tool instead of a threat, I think that there's a question that comes a little from fear, especially I think from doctors. They ask, will there ever come a point where AI is able to understand and feel empathy like a human doctor?
Yeah, that's a point that I wanted to talk about it. we have to have in mind that healthcare, because of the definition, is the homeostasis of the biological, the mental, and the social aspects. Most of the AI nowadays are focusing on the biology, laboratories, images, metrics, but also the healthcare is holistic. So we hope there is a moment that the AI can also work on the social aspects or the social determinants of the patients. And now we're working, or well, the researchers are working on the mental health issues that are also important. But well, I think that's the fact that nowadays there's no evidence that the confidence of the patients towards a system is the same as the physician. So even though if the AI has empathy, does the patient accept it as a person, as someone they can express more of their feelings, maybe? Because for most of us that we have been in front of a patient, and more in Mexico, we know that patients also came to chat with us, to have a talk with us, to tell us something, because sometimes the doctor are the only people they have. So I think that's like a huge gap, but we are working on it, and I think in later on we should have AIs in healthcare to have an holistic point of view of the health.
Thank you so much. Doctors in here on site, do you have a comment about that? Do you think there should be fear of or trust in this AI in medical health?
I think there was the first part of the question about whether AI model could have empathy. And I know there's a group in England that works on psychotherapy for AI models. What can I say? Fear? What is there to fear but fear itself? Have it be your friend.
Yes, of course. And more nowadays, we have this kind of information very accessible to us. I think we should take advantage of it and see it not as a threat, but as a tool.
The people who we fear now, and maybe there are people on the planet that we fear, they will also have this tool. Don't fear the AI or fear that people who you fear can have a more powerful tool to make them more fearful. I think that's the way to put it.
Okay, we are about to finish the questions. If there's a comment that you would like to share to everyone that's watching us through Zoom or YouTube, yes.
Realize that there's a parallel to the gun industry. In the analogy, AI is the gun.
Dr. Thomas, do you have a comment for?
My comment would only be, it was a real pleasure to be here. It was surprising to have that much physicians and that much non-physicians together in the room and also online. It was really fun, and yeah, I hope you all enjoy it and take profit from it. And yeah, we'll see what systems you are building in future. And many thanks for the organization, your introductions and all these things. You did a really good job.
Second.
Dr. Orlando, do you have a comment?
Yeah, sure. I want to remind you that in most of the knowledge process, now we should be transdisciplinary. So it doesn't matter if you're in physics, in biology, in data science, in healthcare sciences, you can always bring something to the research and to the investigation, to bring more knowledge to the world. So I think everyone that wants to do research or to bring more knowledge, or they are invited. We are glad to. And of course, these are baby steps toward the future of the technologies. Thank you very much, of course, for the invitation. I'm very glad to share this table with experts like the ones we have.
Okay, before we officially close, I'm pleased to introduce Dr. David Galindo, representative of Mission Brain. Dr. Galindo will share a few questions for our panelists and present some of the important initiatives that Mission Brain is leading in the intersection of healthcare and technology to see that there's students that are volunteering in these kind of projects and you can do it too. Please welcome Dr. Galindo.
Hello. Hello, nice to see you again. It's a pleasure to be here with you, and I do have some questions for you. I would like to take the approach of most humanistic side of AI. For example, as you well know, we as Mission Brain, we are an organization that try to be mostly with voluntaries. We try to take knowledge to several communities. Actually, our slogan is, we treat, we educate, and we empower. And I think that this talk, everything that we are doing in this workshop, it goes hand to hand with what we're trying to do. For example, we're trying to implement a new approach about cerebral vascular disease, EVC. Actually, we have a branch which is called Mission Brain Stroke. Your brain cannot wait. And for example, we're trying to implement AI in what we're doing. For example, our first steps are trying to educate communities, trying to get the knowledge faster to persons who don't have those resources. And for example, I would like to make you a question. What would you think would be the best way for us to approach these communities who are not so used to AI, who are not so used to technology, and for them to trust AI? What would you think it would be the best approach? Okay, and for example, it will be throughout teaching and the use of AI.
Yeah, I think someone talked already about it. That the AI, we're already using it in everything, and the young people are using it as Google. So if we teach it like in high school, in middle high, or even in elementary, that's the exact point to grow with these insights of the AI. I don't know. What do you think, Doctor?
Dr. Thomas?
Hello? Oh, yeah, works. I agree that, as mentioned before, education in AI is very important and should be done at early stage in school already, or even kindergarten, I don't know. Yeah, we will see. As Ron suggested, public demonstrations or things, yeah, to educate the elderly might be also a good thing of building trust in AI. Yeah? And what might also help is, you know, when the internet was coming, and a lot of information in the internet, and the people were afraid which page is providing right information, which page is not providing trustful information. Yeah, there were some quality labels established, and maybe we need something like this for AI, that some independent organizations can approve things or so on. Like we have in Germany, the TÜV, who is inspecting the cars and make sure that the cars on the road at least have brakes. Yeah, and something like this for AI, I don't know. Just an idea.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And also, I would like to ask, what role should med students and also engineers Do you think that we should take for the implementation of AI and the evolution of AI in the future? Us as med students, they as young engineers, what would you say is it should be their role?
Yeah, I think we have addressed this before. From my opinion, form teams, interdisciplinary teams, and work together.
Yeah, and in my experience in and not exclusive in AI, for example, also in the use of electronic health records, the key of the whole project is implementation. And we already make a project with med students because, well, here in Mexico, one of the most important hospitals is the Nutritional Institute of Mexico. So there, an enterprise developed a whole electronic health record for this institution, but the physicians didn't want to use it because they have a bad implementation strategy. So what we do, we hire med students and send them to teach how to use the system to the old doctors, with to the old surgeons, and they get used to and they get very familiar too. So with this experience, I get that the implementation is one of the most important aspects of any technology to have a good use of it, and so we can explode it as physicians or as users in any area.
Okay, Dr. Ron, would you like to add something?
Overnight, AI will become indispensable.
Yeah, that's for true. Actually, we're already living it, right? Most of the processes that we're already having, they're starting to use AI for this. And also, as we were trying to raise awareness, mostly from cerebrovascular diseases, one of the challenges we are facing right now is, for example, we're trying to develop our own app for social service students who are going to these rural places to have access to knowledge and try to use scales and this tool using AI. What would you say it would be the biggest technical challenge for us to develop such an app for be of use for young social service students? For example, would it be the trying to be more personalized? Would it be connectivity? Would it be energy? What would you say will be our hardest technical challenge for this?
Well, I think in Mexico, everything can be a challenge. For example, for connectivity, not all the country has access to not internet, to light, current energy. Not all the country has access. We are a very big country with a lot of diversity in geography aspects, in urban aspects, in demographic aspects. So in Mexico, it's a huge barrier and a huge problem that we have, and we have to find out how to solve it. Because, yeah, we have a lot of limitations. We don't see it a lot of times because we are in the big cities like Mexico City, right? But there's a lot of towns, a lot of lands that they don't even have access to energy, so they don't have, of course, internet. So I think that's something that government have to work on in order to improve the access to AI or any other technology that can improve, of course, the healthcare or any other aspect in life as we use AI in everything.
I didn't get the chance to compliment the strategy for using the medical students to train the more experienced doctors in how to use the modern technology. But in the way that mobile phones have skipped over the need for telephone wires and copper wires, in rural places in Mexico, the solar industry can eliminate the need to run the high voltage cables. And since the information technology, not crypto mining or other high energy intensity activities, but just running the data itself is low power, solar energy is an answer for Mexico for rural communities to hop on to the information, into the information environment.
Thanks, Dr.
Yeah,
Thomas.
and believe it or not, in Germany we still have a lot of spots without any network access. So it's not that full Germany is covered or full Germany can take part of these internet-based life still. Yeah, and the government, of course, tries to have the companies who are buying for the licenses for 5G and maybe 6G, what is coming, yeah. But it's not working out, and I go every time 35 minutes by car to the university and back, yeah, using the Highway 2. In the number 2 may show it's one of the most important highways in Germany, and I can say in this bridge my phone call will break down, because there is no network.
Yeah, I think we still have a lot of work to do to fix those spots, right? Even here, even in Europe. And Evans, situations like this workshop, for example, I think is a great place for us to work together. To be honest, we're happy at Mission Brain to be a part of this. We thank you a lot for your expertise, for your time, and for you to come and teach us everything about AI to med students and also to engineers. And also, I'm happy to see that some of you are inspired and try to work in this initiative to make and evolve AI and evolve the care and education that we're trying to bring to everyone, to patients and to doctors. And that will be all from my part. Thank you so much, doctors.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
So much for the invitation.
And I would like to give the closing words to our companion.
I invite everyone to stay tuned. We are going to give the last words of the event. Thank you so much for assisting. We will give thanks to everyone that collaborated in this event. If you'd like to know what was going on behind the whole event, please stay tuned so you can appreciate the efforts of everyone that participated. Thank you so much. Please stay tuned. Okay.
And maybe a particular thanks also to the audience. Yeah, there are a lot of faces I recognize that have been here more or less all day, all time, all talks. Yeah, that is amazing.